you see a deer in the woods that refuses to run, do not approach it. Look closely at its knees. If they bend forward like a human's, you aren't looking at a deer. You're looking at SCP-6448.
Item number SCP-6448. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. The primary objective regarding SCP-6448 is the maintenance of the Chronic Wasting Disease Misinformation Campaign. Public awareness of SCP-6448 must be suppressed under the guise of this degenerative neurological condition. Foundation operatives embedded within the United States Forest Service are to monitor and intercept any reports of anomalous cervids or not deer within the Appalachian mountain range. Mobile Task Force Pi 1 City Slickers is currently tasked with the location and termination of SCP-6448 instances that wander into high-density civilian areas. In rural or wilderness settings, containment is deemed secondary to observation. Any civilians who claim to have had prolonged visual contact with an instance are to be administered Class A amnestics. Should an individual encounter an instance of SCP-6448, they are instructed to maintain eye contact and back away slowly. Do not turn your back. Do not run. If the instance begins to vocalize, the individual must cover their ears and retreat immediately. Description: SCP-6448 refers to a species of anomalous organisms that superficially resemble the white-tailed deer. While they are visually indistinguishable from common deer at a distance, closer inspection reveals a series of profound anatomical and behavioral incongruities. The primary physical anomaly is the skeletal structure. The limbs of SCP-6448 often possess extra joints or joints that hinge in directions impossible for a standard cervid. Most notably, the knees of the forelimbs frequently hinge forward, mimicking the articulation of a human elbow or knee. Their necks are often elongated, containing an excessive number of vertebrae, allowing for a 360-degree rotation of the head. The most disturbing biological feature of SCP-6448 is its ocular configuration. Unlike standard deer, which have eyes positioned on the sides of the head for a wide field of peripheral vision, SCP-6448 possesses forward-facing, binocular eyes. This is a trait indicative of an apex predator. The pupils are not horizontal slits, but are instead circular, often displaying a reflective tapetum lucidum that glows with an intense, unnatural white light when exposed to direct illumination. Behaviorally, SCP-6448 does not exhibit the flight response typical of deer. When approached by humans or vehicles, an instance will typically remain stationary, staring directly at the observer. This staring has been described by survivors as inducing intense nausea, vertigo, and a localized uncanny valley response. Internally, SCP-6448 bears little resemblance to a mammal. Autopsies reveal a lack of traditional digestive or respiratory organs. The interior of the thoracic cavity is instead filled with a dense, fibrous mass similar to compressed muscle tissue or damp hay. There is no blood. Instead, the circulatory system carries a viscous black fluid with high concentrations of ammonia. SCP-6448 instances are capable of a limited form of vocal mimicry. They do not possess vocal cords, but appear to vibrate their internal fibrous mass to produce sounds. These sounds typically include distorted human screams, the sound of a crying infant, or the repetitive calling of a name belonging to someone in the immediate vicinity. Addendum 6448A. Incident Report 77 Alpha.
The following is a transcript of a dash-cam recording recovered from a West Virginia State Police cruiser on October 14th. The video begins on a dark two-lane highway surrounded by dense forest. The time is 2:14 a.m.
In the high beams of the cruiser, a large deer is standing in the middle of the road. It is roughly 7 feet tall at the shoulder. It is not moving. Its head is bowed, snout touching the asphalt.
Holloway exits the vehicle and shouts at the animal to get off the road. He claps his hands loudly. The deer does not move. Holloway approaches, his hand resting on his holster. He shines a flashlight at the creature. When the light hits the deer's head, it slowly begins to lift it.
The movement is jerky, like a stop-motion film. The neck extends further than it should, the skin stretching thin until the white of the vertebrae is visible. The head turns 180 degrees to face the trooper, while the body remains stationary, facing away. The flashlight reveals the deer's eyes. They are wide, circular, and bright white. Below the eyes, the deer's mouth hangs open. It does not have the flat teeth of a herbivore. It has rows of needle-like, serrated incisors, similar to a deep-sea anglerfish. The creature stands up on its hind legs. As it rises, the front legs stretch and dangle like useless, multi-jointed arms. The creature stands nearly 9 feet tall. It begins to take a step forward, its gait resembling a human trying to walk on stilts. The creature opens its mouth. A sound comes out. It is Holloway's own voice, recorded from 30 seconds prior, saying, "Get off the road." The pitch is slightly off, layered with a wet, grinding noise. Holloway fires 3 rounds into the creature's chest. There is no blood. The creature doesn't flinch. It continues to walk toward the cruiser, its movements becoming more fluid, as if it is learning how to use its legs in real time.
The last thing visible on the recording is the creature leaning its head into the driver's side window. It doesn't bite. It simply presses its forehead against the glass and stares. The glass cracks under the pressure. The audio records a final vocalization, the sound of Holloway screaming, but played backward. Addendum 6448B, Laboratory Analysis. Analysis revealed that the fur is actually a complex network of rigid, hair-like chitinous structures. The skin is a highly durable, synthetic organic polymer. When exposed to human DNA, the tissue began to rearrange its molecular bond to mimic the proteins found in the human sample.
Addendum 6448-C, Field Log of Dr. Aristone. Sigma doesn't just stare, it stalks. Last night, I looked out the flap of my tent. Sigma was standing right outside. It had folded itself. Its legs were tucked behind its back, and it was balanced on its rib cage, its head resting on the ground, looking under the tent flap. It began to twitch. Its snout started to shorten. Its ears receded into its skull. It was trying to change its face to match mine. The deer is just a template. It's a mask that's easy to wear because people expect to see deer in the woods. They're practicing on the wildlife. Containment is failing. They are moving closer to the suburbs. They are standing in backyards. They are watching children play through sliding glass doors. And they are getting better at the faces. If you are driving through the mountains at night and you see a deer standing by the side of the road, do not look at its reflection in your rear view mirror, because it might not be a deer anymore. It might be you. The Foundation is watching. We are the line between the light and the things that mimic it. Subscribe to stay informed on the latest anomalies.
Your survival may depend